Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to today's session. My name is Madhur Singh and I will be taking your session today on how to upskill yourself and switch jobs in the year 2022. So before starting, please can you confirm that if I'm clearly audible and visible to everyone? Please write a yes or a no in the chat box. Please confirm in the box if I'm clearly audible and visible to everyone. Okay, Ram is saying yes. Thank you for confirming. So I will start the session now. So this session is about you noticing the fact that what is the need of upskilling in 2022, and if you are willing to switch jobs, if you are a fresher looking for jobs, and if you are already an employee of a company and you're willing to switch jobs, how you can do that, what are the ways in which you can upskill. I'll be talking about all of that in this session. So before any further ado, let's talk about what are we going to learn in this session. We're going to talk about why do we actually need to upskill ourselves in 2022. What is the need that we have to, upskill in 2022? Then we'll talk about the skills that are required that you will learn so that you will be in the top 1%. I'll be talking about 10 such skills that are highly valuable when it comes to learning in 2022. How you can learn that, I will also talk about that in the bonus section. Also, I'll be talking about the most effective way of learning these skills. That is through Pareto principle. I'll talk about that in this session as well. Then for the ones who are looking to, switch jobs, to find new jobs, we have a platform called Career Boost. I'll be talking about that as well, in which you can find your the jobs that you want to apply for absolutely free. So I'll talk about all that in this session. So when it comes to why do you need to upskill in 2022? So this question keeps getting asked to me, that why do we need to upskill? What is the requirement? So according to an industry survey, around 79% of the employees that are currently working in the IT sector, they believe that they need to upskill, right? So when they are working, they would find out there are certain skills that are required to be learned, but they are not able to learn it because of their busy schedules, or because of a number of reasons that they might be encountering. Hence it is really important to, fill that gap, fill that skill gap in the workforce that has emerged in the recent years. And also, if you talk about the top management of the company, their number one remark is that the workforce that we have, they have a skills gap. What does this mean? For example, I'll give you a short example. So Microsoft Word, when it came into existence in the early 2000s, right? So that was the upcoming trend that needs to be learned. But if you talk about Microsoft Word in the year 2022, it is no longer the upcoming trend. It is a necessity to be learned. Similarly, there are certain skills that are upcoming in 2022 that you need to learn so that you are well ahead of the competition. We all know that India has a population of 1.3 billion people. Now you can imagine how much you have to, upskill yourself so that you could beat your competition, you could be ahead of the competition in which you are. Also, we are going to make this session very interactive. It is a live session, so you make sure you put all your queries in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to respond to all of your queries. All right. The second most important aspect when it comes to upskilling is the growing digital technologies and innovation. So during the pre-COVID era, most of the businesses were offline. They were offline. They were not very digitally active. But after the lockdown forced them to, shut their shops, they were forced to transform their businesses into the digital ecosystem, which is why it is really important you are well ahead of the trends that are coming in picture. If digital is the new trend, then your business should be listed in that digital space. If not, you will be left behind in this ecosystem. right? Then is the increase in the level of productivity. Now we all know that how important productivity is for any organization. Now if you are someone who's spending a 3 hour task in you complete that task in 7 hours, you're not productive at all, then why would the company even want to keep you in the company, right? So you need to make sure that your level of productivity is high. You need to make sure that you are very efficient in the way of work that you do. Then comes career growth and enhancement. Today in this corporate ecosystem, the managers and the vice presidents of the company of the age of 40 to 50, they are facing this struggle because they are not upskilled to the level in which the current industry demands. So just imagine if you are a fresher out of the college, just imagine when you will be turning 40, when you will be turning 50, you should know what the skills are, you should know what are the upcoming trends, right? So you need to make sure all of that you are already learned through it, you have already mastered that skill, so that when you reach at the higher position in the company, you would already know what the task is, right? Then comes people are concerned about job security. That is the reason they need to upskill. Now, if you are fairly new to the competition, if you are the one who do not want to upskill at all, just imagine if you're working in the company for 5 years. After 5 years, if a person who does not have work experience, who is junior than you, and but he possesses much better skills, he possesses much more greater depth of skills, right? Then he'll be promoted much faster than you because he possesses the certain skills that are required, right? So this is the reason why you need to upskill in 2022, because the world is moving extremely fast, right? The technologies are changing every month, every year on year it is changing. Now you need to make sure that you are at the level of the current trend that is going on. Otherwise, you'll be left behind in the competition. So, okay, learner has asked me how the resume will be shortlisted for a candidate with long career gap. Learner, you need to stay in this session. I'll talk about it at the end of this session. I'll give you this relevant skills that are required. I'll talk about where you can learn those skills. You just need to make sure you attend the session till the end, because I have a bonus section for you in which I'll be giving you all the information at one place. So stay tuned till the very end in this session. Then we talk about the 10 skills that will push you in the top 1%. When I talk about the skills, right? It can be skills for anyone, right? It doesn't matter that if you have a college degree, it doesn't matter if you are a 12th pass, if it doesn't matter if you have done your MBA. Skills, these skills that I'll be talking about, anyone can learn these skills at any point of time. There is no issue in which if you are a college graduate, if you are 12th pass, if you are MBA graduate, does not matter. Everyone can learn these skills. So the first top trending skill in 2022 that I'll be talking about is called coding, right? Coding, we all know, was and again during the 2010s era, it was again the upcoming trend that would come up and be the next big thing. People were not very impressed by computer programmers then, but now it is a necessity because we use our phones every single day, right? We use our phones every minute, we have them in our hands, we watch television, we have laptops in our hand. So every single thing that they work on, the backbone of it is coding, is computer programming. And guess what, it is not a very hard skill to learn. It is very easy, simple steps need to be followed. It can be this skill can be learned in no time, right? I'll tell you what are the major things, right? Coding, we know, programming language is the method through which we communicate with the computers. Now, a code instructs a machine what to do. Therefore, writing code is just like writing a set of instructions. You don't need, it's not a very complicated thing to learn. So if you are from a non-programming background, you don't need to worry at all. You can start at any point of time. I'll tell you how. At the end of this session, I'll tell you how you can learn all these things. So you can teach computers what to do or behave considerably more quickly than you learn how to write code. So if you learn how to write code quickly, you will be much more better in coding. Now, what are the top three programming language that you need to know? We'll start from the very basic. You need to know C++, you need to know Python, you need to know Java. These are the three major coding languages that you need to know, right? How you can know that? Again, I'll tell you at the end of the session how you can learn these skills absolutely free. You'll also get the certificate for it. You just need to stay in the session till the end. And after coding, if you have possessed this just simple thing called coding, what are the jobs that you will be looking forward to, right? What are the jobs that you can apply to? Now, everyone has LinkedIn profile these days. You can update your resume in LinkedIn. You can, apply to different companies in the background of computer programming. But what would be the jobs that you would be focused on, right? That is software developer that develops software. Then you have web developer develops the websites. Then you have systems engineer, that various systems are designed by the computer systems engineer. Then you have the database administrator, large amount of data that is being generated, that is being governed by database administrator. Then you have software quality assurance engineer, that checks that if the software is working properly, the quality checks that need to be maintained. So these are the five jobs that you need to target once you possess the skill called coding. You can take a screenshot of this so that when you're applying, you know what are the job profiles that you are looking at. The second most important skill for the ones who are not interested in coding, for the ones who do not like coding, who are not very inclined to learning coding, the second most essential skill, or the second most essential part in which you can grow your salary, you can grow your career in, is content marketing. A lot of platforms like Instagram, YouTube have come up, right? And most of the influencers have been generated from there, right? You have a lot of famous influencers these days. So what are their profile? Their profile is content marketing, right? It doesn't matter if you want to create content. If you know how to manage that content, again, you are fit for this role. Content marketing is used by businesses to reach and convert potential customers. Now, as I talked before, that digital transformation has taken place after the 4G revolution. All the businesses have come online, right? Most of the businesses are online. How they used to market their products through traditionally, like commercial TV ads in the early 2000s. If you used to be a kid in the early 2000s, you would know that, okay, there were commercial TV ads. Your house newspapers used to come, right? There used to be sections of ads, advertisements, right? Then there would be pamphlets that used to be, rolled across the city. That is how marketing used to take place. That is how business used to, send out what their products are. To reach their potential customers. But now that landscape has changed. Now it has become completely digitized. So now all the things, all the marketing that happens is digital, right? Most of the companies have their ads online now, right? You scroll through Instagram, you have certain ad sections in between. You watch a video, initially in a video you would have advertisement. So all that thing is managed by content marketers. Their major aim is to make sure that the digital landscape, you get the ad customized to the customer, right? You give the ads customized to the customer. You might have also noticed, like Zomato, you have flights, right? They give you specific emails. They send you personalized emails that 60% off on this order, 5,000 rupees off on this particular flight. So they want to make sure that they give you personalized ads. That is why digital landscape has become such a big thing in today's ecosystem. But what are the key elements? What are the key responsibilities that content marketers possess? What are the skills that they need to learn? That is, number one is content planning. Then is this understanding of sales funnel. Then is the market research that goes in. You need to make sure what your competitors are, how much better they are doing, what is the purpose of which they are looking forward to, what is the difference between their content and your content. So that is the responsibility of the person who does market research. Then comes search engine optimization skills. So if you're searching anything online, you type anything online, you have a lot of websites that rank, right? So the website that ranks at the top, right, everyone wants to visit that, because people like you and me believe that Google already knows what is the best website to look for anything that I search, that comes at the top. So search engine optimization is the skill in which you know about how the Google algorithm works and how you can rank your website at the top. So this is also done by content marketer. Then comes the analytical skills, the skills you need to analyze that how many views a particular video has got, what are the average view time a video has. So all these things come under the content marketing ecosystem. Again, this particular section is for the ones who do not want to who do not want to enter the computer science background. they have what the essentially important thing they can do is they can, make their career in content marketing. And how do you learn these skills? Again, at this end of this session, I'll tell you where you can find all these skills at one place. You just have to wait till the very end. I'll give you all the necessary, courses that are required for upskilling yourself, and that too absolutely free. Then we talk about what are the current jobs that are important in content marketing. What are the job profiles that you will be looking at when you have gained that particular skill? That is content writer, that is content strategist, that is content marketer, that is content manager, and search engine optimization expert, right? If you know about search engine optimization, that will make you to an elite group in which you will be hired much more quickly, right? Then comes the third most essential skill. What is the most essential part? What is the most essential skill? That is UI UX design. Now, if you have seen any website, if you have visited any website, you have different sort of things that come up. You have different sort of website designs that come up. So how the website is looking aesthetically is determined by UI designer. Now, the user interface and the user experience, they are two separate aspects of the same customer experience. I'll give you a brief intro about both of these. So a UI designer, that is the user interface designer, it focuses on the spacing in the website. Different tabs are there, the spacing between that tabs, the color gradients, how are visually the color appears, then the contrast, how much contrast, color contrasts are required, how, if there is any animation, the illustrations that are there in that website, that is taken care about of UI designer. Again, you don't need to know coding in UI UX. It is a pretty simple thing. You need to know about Photoshop and all these things. You need to make sure you know about these. Then comes UX designer. UX is user experience. So as the name suggests, it focuses on the experience that the user has. So if I'm opening any application, if I'm going to any website, if I'm buying, what is the end goal? I would buy something or I would purchase something, right? So what would be the experience of the user? Is it smooth? Is it too cluttered that I would not understand? So that is determined by UX designer. He understands the customer requirements, he understands the goal of the company, the client that he's working for. He'll know what is his goal. Then he'll know what how different people would use, different age groups would use that particular application. Then he'll brainstorm on the user flow. Then he'll replicate the journey of a user, and then he'll create wireframe models that is basically without any color. He'll make, okay, this is the most essential part, this is the most easiest way in which the customer will navigate through my website or any application if that exists. So this is what a UI UX designer does. So again, you would ask me what are the top job profiles that you need to look at when it comes to UI UX designer? That is UX strategist, that is UI designer, information architect. Now, what is information architect? If he knows both UI and UX together, he'll come across information architect. Then is UX researcher. He'll do the research about how the other competitor website look. Are they much better than that in terms of the user experience? So he'll research about that. So this was all about UI UX design. Now the fourth most essential you know skill that you need to learn in today's world is cloud computing. Now why is cloud computing important? What is the essential part in cloud computing? So it is that the supply of the computer services these days over the internet, they include servers, right? You must have heard server is down or something like that. Server, maintaining that server, then is the storage, then database, networking, software, analytics, intelligence, all that done is through cloud computing. Now imagine if a company is there, right? It has tons and tons of data these days. You don't have manual papers these days. You have tons and tons of digital data. Now, how do you think that would be stored? It cannot be stored through individual pen drives or hard disks, right? It has to be maintained online somewhere in servers, right? That is done through cloud computing. Now, cloud computing is a fascinating new topic that has the potential to transform the way people operate online. So, what are the basic skills that are required to learn cloud computing? That is the knowledge of Linux operating system, the knowledge of database skills like MySQL, Hadoop, the knowledge of programming skills like Java, Python, and also the knowledge of network management. Yes, network management is really important to know when it comes to cloud computing. Next, we'll be talking about top jobs in cloud computing. What are the top jobs that we are focusing on here is cloud engineer, cloud architect, cloud infrastructure engineer, cloud security engineer, and cloud administrator. So these are the top 5 jobs that you need to look at when you're applying for cloud computing job roles. Again, if you have any queries during the session about anything that I'm talking about, you can put them in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to reply to all of your queries. Then comes the fifth most important part of skill that we are talking about upskilling, right? The most important aspect is web development. Now, this is the starting thing for anyone who learns coding. The first thing he should, try his hands on is web development. Now, web development skills are popular across a wide range of industries because it doesn't matter really today that if you don't have to be in a tech company to do it. All the companies have their websites, right? They need web designers to build those websites. So you can apply to any of the companies that you like as web designer. You can maintain their websites. You can, be more creative in the way that website looks. So you can be a part of, web development team there. So this is a process of creating and again and maintaining websites, as I just mentioned. What are the various skills that are required by you to understand web development? That is HTML, that is JavaScript, that is UI UX design. Again, if you know UI UX, that does not require coding. You add coding to UI UX design in terms of website, that is web development, right? You need to know about C Sharp and .NET frameworks when you're talking about web development. The most important job profiles that you need to look at when you're talking about web development, it would be front end development, back end developers, full stack developers, and cyber security, because websites can be hacked and you need people from cybersecurity to at least maintain the website from any cyber attacks. That is why you need cybersecurity as well. So these are the job profiles that you'll be looking at when you're talking about web development. Again, full stack development means both the front end, both the back end, combinedly is called as full stack development. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to put them in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to reply to all of your queries. Then comes the sixth most essential skill to learn in 2022, that is big data. Now, big data is the science of gathering and analyzing large volumes of data in order to extract relevant information that aids their decision making. Now, data is everywhere, right? Right from your mobile phones, right from to the big industries, financial industries, hospitals, everyone use tremendous amounts of data. Now you need data analysts to, make sure that data that has been collected is filtered, it's sorted to make sure it's liable to analyze. Why do company needs to analyze data? So that they could make sound business decisions, right? So what are the skills that are required to learn big data? That is Python, that is R. These being the two most important programming languages. Then comes MySQL, Tableau, and data mining tools like NIME, Apache Mahmood, Rapid Miner. So all these things, where you will learn these things, how you can learn these things, I'll talk about that at the end of this session. Then what are the jobs that you will be looking forward to when it comes to big data? What are the 5 main important jobs that you're looking at? That is data architect, that is data engineer, that is data analyst, database manager, and data scientist. So all these 5 job roles you can apply for. You can take a screenshot of this particular slide so that you know if you're applying, when you've known this skill, if you're applying for companies, what are the job profiles you need to target. These are the 5 ones. Then comes AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. I'm pretty sure everyone in this session would have heard about artificial intelligence and machine learning. So what are these things? What are the things that are there in artificial intelligence? What are the things that are there in machine learning? You have heard about people working on self-driving cars, right? You have seen apps like Lenscard. They have facial recognition and all this stuff, right? Robotic surgery these days. So these are the technologies that have come up, right? So this requires the knowledge of artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? If you have scrolled through Instagram, if you have seen a particular, let's say a dog's reel, right? Then you would notice that most of your reels come up are related to dogs, because that is through machine learning. It has known that, okay, this is the type of content that you really enjoy. So that is why they keep showing you that particular thing. So they are very personalized in the way you are utilizing your data, right? The skills to learn for artificial intelligence and machine learning, that is Python, that is R, that is MySQL, that is Tableau, that is data mining tools like NIME, Apache, Mahout, and Rapid Miner. And apart from this, what is the most essential part that you need to know? That is learning algebra, that is signal processing techniques, that is neural network architecture. So all these three things you need to make sure you know, right? Next, what we'll be talking about is the jobs that are there in artificial intelligence and machine learning. That is machine learning developer, data engineer, and data scientist. So these are the three job roles that are important to be known. Then comes blockchain development, right? Now you must have heard about cryptocurrencies these days. Now cryptocurrencies are the most hot topic that is talked about everywhere, right? From the financial industry to the millennials to the content creators, everyone talks about cryptocurrencies. Why? Because they have grown through the way in which they have grown over the past decade is why everyone knows them. But what is really important is that how you can grow your career in that, right? It is through blockchain development, because these cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they have a base, they have the backbone in which they are built, that is blockchain. Blockchain is the backbone that is built, that builds both Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the cryptocurrencies. Despite its relative freshness, blockchain technology has grown into a multi-billion dollar business today. And this is due to the creation and management of cryptocurrencies. Blockchain also acts like a database that store encrypted blocks of data, right? These are blocks of data that links together. That is why it is called blockchain. And it is very decentralized. So everyone in the system, in this ecosystem can know what is happening. That is why if, for example, if a bank is there, right? Bank is a centralized authority. Now it gives loans to individual people, right? Now there are some people who would not repay the loan. That becomes bad debt, right? It becomes a loan default. Now, in that case, what it can be done? Nothing can be done. But if it is done through blockchain development, if it is done through, uh, a decentralized way, then everything is crystal clear. It is transparent. That is the reason blockchain is really important. Now, if you are learning to know about this blockchain development, you need to know coding. You need to know database skills like MySQL, Hadoop, programming like Java, Python, and network management. So all these things you need to know about when you're talking about blockchain development. Then what are the jobs that you need to focus on blockchain development? That is blockchain developer, that is blockchain quality analyst, that is blockchain solution architect. So these are the three major things that need to be known when it comes to blockchain development. Now we are talking about video marketing. Now video is no longer only component of total marketing strategy. It is a crucial to the campaign and outreach activities. Now again, this part of the thing is for the people who do not believe in coding, who do not want to code. You're looking for something that is trending these days in 2022 but does not involve any sort of coding. That is video marketing. Video is no longer the only component of your marketing strategy. You have various video editors. Now, since the rise of these influencers, right, there is required for the videos that we post to edit, right? Someone would edit it, someone would market it. The the people that who do it is video editors, video marketers, right? What are the skills that you need to learn in video marketing? What are the essential skills that you need to know when you're talking about this particular thing? It is Adobe Photoshop, it is Premiere Pro, it is Adobe Illustrator, and it is Canva. So all these four essential components you need to know when you are talking about video marketing. So what are the top jobs that are talked about in video marketing? That is content creation, that is video production, that is video editor. And again, in order to make sure that your video ranks at the top in YouTube, again, you have search engine optimization expert, right? We talked about that previously also in skill number two. In content marketing, and we are talking about it in video marketing as well. Now again, if you're targeting these type of jobs, make sure you take a screenshot of this so that you know what job you would be applying for. Again, if you have any queries across the way, the skills that I'm talking about, make sure that you put your queries in the comment box, in the chat box, so that I could reply to your comments. I can tell you what the thing that you need to do to upskill yourself. So don't hesitate. Make sure you are putting all your queries, small or big, in the chat box below. Then comes the 10th and the most essential again skill that I consider for non-programmers, that is supply chain and logistic management. Now, if you would have noticed, the companies like Amazon, companies like Flipkart, companies like Myntra, right? They have their marketing efforts in such a way that whatever things you buy online, they get delivered to you. They get reached to you within 2 to 3 days, and in some metro cities, even one day. Now, how is that possible? That is done through supply chain and logistic management, right? Now, people these days who are afraid of, going out because of the COVID, they really order online, right? They most of the people today order online because it is at the ease of the comfort of their homes. So now, in order to make sure that they get the best customer experience, they get their quick deliveries, these companies are heavily focusing on improving their supply chain network, improving their logistic management. That is why this becomes a very hot top trending skill that you need to know in 2022. Now, spending and activating now to be more cost competitive in this nature, the businesses, they're searching for methods to cut cost. They're searching the methods and create more efficient value chains. So they are looking out to create more efficient value chains these days. Now, for example, Zomato is coming up with a 10-minute delivery, right? Just imagine 10 you place an order and within 10 minutes it comes to you. So how impressive is that, right? These companies are heavily focusing on their supply chain networks. Then companies are seeking for methods to create value added services in order to fulfill the needs of more sophisticated customers. Again, the priority is to make sure that the customer is happy, right? So that is what they do. Now they need to learn about just in time concept, that is a Japanese philosophy called just in time, in which you learn about a variety of things in which how logistics is managed, how inventories are managed. Then comes inventory management, then comes production management. So three main skills you need to learn. Where do you need to learn these skills? I'll talk about in the next segment. So what are the various jobs that you're looking forward when it comes to supply chain and logistic management? So jobs would be supply chain expert, jobs would be inventory control manager, the jobs would be production manager. So these are the three things that needs to be known when it comes to supply chain and logistic management. Supply chain expert, inventory control manager, and production manager. You can take a screenshot of this particular section so that you know what job profile you need to target. Now, knowing about these 10 skills we talked about, how you can learn it in the more effective way. So I always talk about this in my sessions. I always tell people that go by the Pareto principle. What does this say? This says that the 20% of causes have 80% of consequences, which means that you need to focus on the 20% of things that would give you 80% of the result, which means essentially you need to know the backbone of everything, that is coding. That comes in that 20%. If you know coding, if you have seen the session from the beginning, you know that most of the skills that I talked about have their core base, have their fundamental as coding. So you need to know computer programming. What are the computer programming languages you need to learn? You need to learn Python, you need to learn Java, and you'll be good to go in that regard, right? Then you can always upskill yourself to the greatest extent. But these two things you need to know. These are your 20% that would give you 80% of the results. If you are a fresher, if you are an experienced person, does not matter. Just learn these two languages, will be good to go, right? So this is the Pareto principle that is talked about in the industry. It is talked about industry in a very, very detailed manner. And I want all of you to, upskill yourself in 2022 so that you have the opportunities ahead. You are ahead of the competition that you are dealing with. So that is really, really important. Then I mentioned that I'll be talking about the bonus tip. I'll be talking about the bonus section that we have, right? So what is the section that we are talking about here? We are talking about the one thing that we have, that is Great Learning Academy. We provide courses to you. Just go in your browsers, type Great Learning Academy, and you'll land to this particular page, right? So if you scroll down in this page, Great Learning Academy, okay, you can search it. We have a tons and tons of courses that we provide to our learners. We'll provide them to our learners for free. We want everyone to gain knowledge from it. We want every single individual in this country, across the globe, to make sure you upskill yourself in the regard what the industry standards are. That is our motive. That is where we are headed towards. And what are the things that we talked about in this session, right? 10 skills. We talked about IT and software. You can go to this tab called IT and software. You can look around. You have Java programming, you have front end development, back end development. We talked about a lot of things, right? Introduction to programming. You can learn about R, you can learn about Java programming, you can learn about Python for free, right? So what you are waiting for? You can go to Great Learning Academy right now. You can start, enroll yourself in the courses, start your journey of coding, start your journey about transforming your life, switching your jobs, transforming your life. Everything starts from upskilling yourself, right? So go ahead and visit this website. Then we also talked about data science. We also talked about the big data that we are talking about in today's world, right? So we have the course of data science. We have a lot of courses, right? Data science foundations, exploratory data analysis, probability in data analysis, statistics method. We have all that, and you can start from beginner level, you can go to the intermediate level, so that you will also increase in the knowledge that you are gaining. So we provide all these courses for free, absolutely free, and that too by top faculties across the globe that we have, right? So we also talked about cyber security, right? To maintaining websites you need cyber security. So introduction to information security, information to cyber security, we have all the courses that are available on our platform. You just need to make sure you enroll them for absolutely free. At the end of it, you'll also gain the certifications out of it. You can put them in your resume. You can go outside and look for jobs, right? This also you can do. Then you have cloud computing that we talked about, the foundations of cloud computing, AWS, right? Microsoft Azure. We have all the courses, all the hot trending courses that are there, that the skills that are required that are there. We make sure you upskill yourself in that regard from our channel, from Great Learning Academy. Then you have big data, we talked about digital marketing. For the ones who do not like coding at all, we have introduction to digital marketing, we have marketing foundations, we have Instagram marketing, search engine marketing. I talked about search engine optimization, how important it is. So all that is available in this particular website, right? We also talked about UI UX design. So you can go to this website, you can look for UI UX. You have all the courses that are there, beginner level. You can start your journey. You can start the journey in 2022. It's already been 3 months, right? You don't want to waste any more time. So make sure you learn all these skills. You make sure you know what is happening around the globe, right? Now, I also talked about getting placements, right? We also provide placement assistance, right? So that we have a particular section for it called Career Boost, right? Crack your dream job with Career Boost. If you click on this, you visit this place called Career Boost, right? Now you can join for free. We have lot of various hiring partners, including the top consulting firms, including Microsoft, EY. We have all these things. So it's your responsibility now, so that you visit our website, you make sure you sit for the placements that are there, you apply for the jobs that are available on our platform, right? You can see you have testimonials as well. You have Microsoft job that is paying 44 lakhs per annum. You have different jobs of different companies that are there, right? You can also see what are the recent placements that the people have got. See, like Mohit has got a placement of 10 lakhs as security analyst. So we also provide these things for free. You can just join for free. You can, sit for placements. You can get your job. You can upskill yourself first, right? That is important. If you don't have the relevant skill, then how would you even get a job, right? It is really important in today's world. Your degree would not matter that much. Your skills that you have accomplished in this particular year, the skills that you possess will matter. So make sure you are upskilling yourself in that regard, right? Now, if you have a gap in your education, if you have a 6 year gap in your education, then how would you enter this corporate industry? How would you enter the IT sector? This is the question that keeps getting asked to me. How would you do that, right? We have collaboration with top universities across the globe, right? We have a lot of different, programs, degrees and certification programs from various universities, right? Like we have here from IIT Roorkee, we have the full stack software development program. So you can enroll in these courses as well, right? You can download their brochure, you can click on this, you can know what is being taught, right? You can download the brochure. It is from IIT Roorkee. You'll be getting the certificates from IIT Roorkee. So make sure that you are ahead of the competition, make sure you are upskilling yourself. That is my aim today, to tell you that you need to make sure that you are upskilling yourself. Now, if anyone has any questions for this session, I'll be more than happy to take. So you can put them in the comment section. You can put them in the chat box right now. I'll be more than happy to answer. Okay, if no one has any questions, so I'll end this session right now. Thank you so much for attending this session. Now we are having this session every day for this particular week. So we have a session in the evening at 5 p.m. by Shantanu Rana. He'll be taking this session on how to crack your first job. If you are applying for your first job, how would you crack it? What are the tips and tricks that are required? He'll be talking about that in the session today at 5 p.m. So make sure you stay tuned to that session as well at 5 p.m.